2025 will see the release of many games that have had to wait several years. These are both big, long-awaited games like GTA 6 and remakes of classics like Max Payne. Subscribe to the channel if you are waiting for at least one of the games I showed in this video.
What do I think about heroes? Well,
Fable. The events of the game take place in the fantasy world of Albion. The protagonist joins the community of heroes to confront a certain villainess. Fable is a series of RPGs that has no analogues. It is a real simulator of a fairy tale hero with incredibly wide possibilities. Your character can have a family and children, do business, lead the life of a rentier, and much more. The release of the last full-fledged Fable was in 2010, and nothing like it has been released since then. In 2020, a new installment has been announced, which is being created by Playground Games, known for the Forza Horizon racing series. We don't know what kind of RPG from developers with no experience in the genre will turn out to be, but the trailers inspire hope that we are waiting for the same colorful adventure as before.
let's face it, the age of heroes is over. This is the age of innovation. This, if you will, is the age of death. One moment. This is awkward.
Yeah. Oh.
Gears of War, E-Day, mankind on the planet. Sarah is living a peaceful life after the end of years of the Pendulum Wars. But no sooner do people exhale than they are attacked by the Locusts, genetically modified creatures from the underground. E-Day is a prequel to the famous Gears of War shooter series. Here at last we'll tell about the events of the Day of Schism, when the war of the coalition of United States and Locusts began on Sarah. The main character will be a young Marcus Phoenix, protagonist of the first 3 parts. We will see how he learned to fight with Locusts and how the canonical weapon of the series, Lancer machine gun with chainsaw, appeared. Grand Theft Auto 6. Bandits. Lucia and Jason hold a series of robberies in the sunny Vice City. In love heroes, judging by the trailer, waiting for Discord. GTA 6 is the most ambitious game of our time. Rockstar Games returns to its flagship series and promises to set a new standard of quality in the industry. From the obvious innovations, which are noticeable from the first trailer, the appearance of a social network reminiscent of TikTok, a greater density of crowds and new transportation like jet skis, but the game will probably surprise with something else. Assassin's Creed, Codename Hexe. 16th century, Holy Roman Empire. The Inquisition is conducting a witch hunt. Assassins are among them. Prominent developers are working on Codename Hexe. The team of creators is led by Clint Hocking, game designer of Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory and Far Cry 2, and the script is written by Darby McDevitt, the author of Assassin's Creed, Revelations, and Black Flag. According to proven insider Tom Henderson, the main character of Hexe will be a witch named Elsa. She can inhabit the bodies of other people and even cats, and the game itself probably won't be an open-world RPG. According to producer Mark Alexis Coate, Hexe is much more compact than Odyssey and Valhalla, and is very different from them.
If you Maul's anything like you have. She'll keep fighting till we find her.
I hope so. It's just hard to believe this is all.
South of Midnight. A magical hurricane transports the girl Hazel and her mother to Prospero's alternative Gothic world. Aesthetically, it resembles the southern states of the United States. The heroine goes in search of her mother and at the same time learns the secrets of her family. South of Midnight is being developed by Compulsion Games, the studio behind platformer Contrast and action game We Happy Few. The developers have never had big budgets, but they attracted the audience with unusual visuals and gameplay. Their new game will be much more ambitious. Compulsion promises an exciting adventure in a unique, unlike anything else setting. Judging by the trailer, South of Midnight will at least please with a great picture in the spirit of the cartoon, Spider-Man Across the Universe. Doom, The Dark Ages. The Dark Ages will show the backstory of Executioner Rock, the main character of Doom 2016, and Doom Eternal. The action is set in a world reminiscent of medieval Europe. Why we are waiting. The release of a new part of Doom is always a bright event for all shooter fans. New weapons will appear in the Dark Ages, a shield with a saw and a machine gun that shoots skulls, and Executioner of Doom himself will be able to fly on a dragon and control a huge robot. That's enough to eagerly count the days until release.
The risks when we ventured out beyond the gates. But you helped us make something greater than the fear and death that surrounded us.
State of Decay 3. Many years have passed since the beginning of the zombie apocalypse. The few survivors continue to cling to life and build settlements to shelter from the walking dead. The State of Decay series stands out for its unusual game mechanics. When your hero dies, you are not transferred to the control point, but take control of another settler with different characteristics. In the third part, all elements of the previous games will be finalized, including shooting and settlement building. Details, however, are still scarce. Expect more details closer to 2025.
And that helped us find the courage to keep going, to fight on. When we needed it the most. I didn't know you well. But we'll keep your memory alive. Every sacrifice we make matters and will never be forgotten.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is an upcoming action-adventure stealth video game developed and published by Konami. It is a remake of the 2004 game Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater, the fifth main entry in the Metal Gear franchise and the first chronological game overall. Set in 1964, the game follows a Fox operative codenamed Naked Snake, who must save a Russian rocket scientist and sabotage the Shagohod, a Soviet nuclear superweapon, while clearing his country from Soviet suspicion amid Cold War tensions and confronting his former mentor, the Boss, who has defected to their side. Metal Gear Solid Delta. Snake Eater is the first major entry in the Metal Gear franchise since the release of Metal Gear Survive in 2018, when Konami stopped publishing 8AA third-party console games in favor of budget and mobile titles. The game was announced in May 2023. Snake Eater was chosen to be remade over other entries due to its status as an origin story for the franchise and its pivotal characters. Delta's titling emerged from the development team's desires to faithfully reproduce Snake Eater's gameplay and story with modern graphics and enhancements, but without significant deviations to its intended structure. Metal Gear Solid Delta. Snake Eater is scheduled to release for PlayStation 5, Windows and Xbox Series XS in 2024 tentatively. Perfect Dark. Scout Joanna Dark must find Daniel Carrington, the most wanted criminal in the world. In the course of the plot, the heroine will reveal the existence of some technology that threatens millions of people. The new Perfect Dark is a reboot of the iconic series that Rare Studios created from 2000 to 2005. Now, it's not a linear stealth action game, but practically an immersive sim with large urban locations. Gameplay Perfect Dark reminds Deus Ex, Mankind Divided. Here, you also need to hack gadgets, follow the movements of enemies, and search for secret data. Such first-person stealth games are in short supply nowadays.
I'm looking at the screen right now.
Our intel places Carrington on the second floor.
Judas. The distant future. The spaceship Mayflower is traveling the galaxy in search of a new home for mankind. The ship is damaged and is unlikely to reach its destination, and a girl named Judas is to blame. True, she herself does not remember what she did and how she incurred the wrath of the rest of the crew. Judas is a new game by Ken Levine, the ideological inspirer and creator of BioShock. This means that we are waiting for a pretentious story with philosophical reasoning at its core. Gameplay-wise, judging by the trailers, Judas is the same BioShock. We explore bizarre locations, fight with stylish enemies and upgrade. A distinctive feature of the game is the so-called narrative builder. Levin promises that Judas will react sensitively to the player's decisions and actions, and will build a story based on them, a different one for each user. Clockwork Revolution. The steampunk city of Avalon is ruled by Lady Ironwood. She can travel through time, so she is able to nip any discontent of the inhabitants in the bud. The protagonist, judging by the trailer, will have to challenge the ruler. The studio Insile Entertainment, known for the last 2 Wasteland games, is responsible for the development. Those games were characterized by incredible variability and non-linearity. This may be transferred to Clockwork Revolution. Moreover, the visuals of the game reminds not only BioShock Infinite, but also the legendary Arcanum. Probably, we are waiting for its spiritual successor. Moreover, Insile employs people who are involved in this RPG.
But it only takes one rebellious little gear to ruin everything. If you resist my rule, if you alter our past, if you threaten what I have built, there is nowhere in space or time where I will not destroy you.
Oh no. What did I do?
Any last words before my friend puts one in your scalp?
As soon as we find a good spot, we can get things set up and ready to go. And then we can get started.
Monster Hunter Wilds. The protagonist, as part of an expedition, arrives in the region called Forbidden Lands. Here the protagonist will have to hunt a variety of monsters. Monster Hunter is one of the most conservative series in the industry. From part to part, it offers the player to follow the same simple pattern: kill monsters, collect resources from them, and create new equipment to kill stronger monsters. It goes on like this ad infinitum. Wilds develops the ideas of world in terms of open world. Spacious locations and several biomes are waiting for us. In terms of traveling through the levels, Wilds inherits Rise. Only instead of sled dogs palamutes, there will be dinosaur-like secrets. There are some timid, but still not without innovations. The main feature of Wilds is the living world. Monsters will behave differently depending on whether they are in a pack or not. The weather change system will also make the prey and peaceful NPCs change their behavior. Judging by the trailer, Wilds will not offer anything radically new, but it is enough to make fans spend hundreds of hours in the game. Death Stranding 2, On the Beach. Courier. Sam, after the events of the first game, goes on a round-the-world trip to save humanity from extinction. In this, the hero will be helped by both old acquaintances and new comrades. The first Death Stranding was a game unlike any other. It's a post-apocalyptic cargo delivery simulator in which you help other players online. The plot was also surprising. The true essence of Death Stranding seems to be known only by the author of the game himself, game designer Hideo Kojima. The sequel will be more extensive. The hero will have a whole flying ship and travel through different regions, from the desert to ice-covered lands. In addition, Death Stranding 2 will feature new famous actors, such as Elle Fanning from Neon Demon.
By my count, that makes 2 super soldiers loose in Paris.
3, counting you.
And that's 2 too many.
I'll be there before the sun rises. Before the Germans, before that American.
Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra. The year is 1943, Nazi-occupied Paris. The villains are opposed by Captain America and Azuri, the ruler of Wakanda, known as the Black Panther. Rise of Hydra is an ambitious new game in the Marvel universe. Judging by the trailer, it will be more down-to-earth than Insomniac's Spider-Man and Eidos-Montreal's Guardians of the Galaxy. The action seems promising also because of the names of the authors. The screenwriter and game designer is Amy Hennig, creative director of the first and third Uncharted. Marvel's Blade. The superhero Eric Brooks, known as Blade, moves to Paris. There he begins hunting vampires. Why we're waiting? Blade is being created by Arcane Lion, developer of the excellent action games Dishonored 2 and Deathloop. It's unknown whether the new game will have immersive sim elements or will be a purely linear action game, but there is a lot of confidence in Arcane Lion. At least for the combat system, world development and level design, we are definitely not worried. There are no other details yet.
Lock up tight now. Night's just getting started.
The plot of OD is not yet known. It is a new game by Hideo Kojima, the creator of Death Stranding and the Metal Gear Solid series. Sophia Lillis from It, Hunter Schaffer from Euphoria, and Udo Kier from Dogville will play the main roles. Kojima describes OD as a psychological horror that will erase the line between games and movies. Exactly how is not entirely clear, but the game will utilize Xbox's cloud-based technology. Director Jordan Peele, who directed the horror films Away and No, is assisting in development. At the very least, it should be very scary. Civilization 7. The player assumes the role of the ruler of one of the powers. The task is to lead his people through the centuries to world domination. Civilization series is one of the most influential in the industry, and every next installment is an event. Although from the outside it may seem that there are not so many differences between them. We don't know yet what Civilization 7 will bring, but it will definitely be the reason for many gamers' lack of sleep. After all, we owe the existence of the one more move and sleep factor to Civilization.
But let me first do some great thing that shall be told among men hereafter.
Each of us shall endure this world's life until the end.
Your names shall not be lost.
So it shall be.
So it shall be.
There was no glory in this. I hadn't asked for this crap. Trouble had come to me in big dark swarms. The good and the just were like gold dust in the city. I had no illusions. I was not one of them. Turn around, walk away, blow town. That would have been the smart thing to do.
A remake of Max Payne 1 and 2. Police officer Max Payne takes revenge for the death of his family to the criminals of New York. Gradually, the hero uncovers a government conspiracy related to the drug Valkyrin. Remedy Studios is rethinking the titles it released in 2001 and 2003. The remake will somehow combine both games. The new version is being created on the Northlight engine, which was used in Control and Alan Wake 2. Judging by Remedy's new games, the Max Payne remake will definitely have great shooting and great graphics. The sequel to Call of Duty, Black Ops 2, the game has not been officially announced, but its existence was confirmed by proven insider Tom Henderson. The action takes place in 2030, 5 years after the events of Black Ops 2. The protagonist will once again be Soldier David Mason. The Black Ops sub-series is the best in the Call of Duty franchise. Many people have been waiting for the sequel to the second installment, but Treyarch has moved the action of the third and fourth Black Ops to a more distant future. If Activision manages to keep the bar high for BO2, we are in for one of the best Call of Duty installments in recent years. Only the lack of details about the developer is alarming. It's unlikely that Raven and Treyarch will take care of the game because they are working on Black Ops 6. And if BO2 sequel is entrusted to Sledgehammer or another studio, we risk to get a disappointing story campaign. Project 007. The origin story of the famous James Bond, known by the codename Agent 007. Other details are kept secret for now. The game is developed by IO Interactive, the author of Hitman series. This fact is enough to look forward to Project 007 because modern parts of Hitman are some of the best stealth action games in the industry. Really, we don't know anything else about the game. Development started back in 2020, so expect news in the coming year.